What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be ranking every single spotlight that we know is coming out in 2024. Obviously, this is imperative. You don't want to add cards that suck to your collection or that don't suit your playstyle. And we want to highlight weeks that are must-buy opportunities and then just completely skip some so that you can save up and go after cards that are worth a damn to you. Now, you guys might not know this, but it's pretty tough because Second Dinner did remove the ability to go and look ahead of spotlight schedules, making it really tough and inspiring me to even make this video so that you guys can at least make some sort of a roadmap of what cards are coming out. Hopefully, they got to add some type of system when a new season starts to let us see at least a month or two in advance so that free-to-play can appropriately save up for cards that they care about. After all, right, you don't want to go for Silk this month if Silk is coming out in 2 months with another card that you might like. So kind of tough overall. Definitely something I hope they make the right decision on. But let's go ahead and take a look at each week and what I would personally rate them. Now, as we kick things off, guys, I want to go ahead and say there are a lot of good new cards coming out. So there's going to be weeks you have to decide to not get the cards, right? So it's going to be tough. Really, you need to decide right away if you're into discard or if you're into more random cards that can fit into a wider collection. And we start that with Cole Obsidian, who's a great stat stick. Definitely nice power. We're going to probably see him in a good amount of meta builds. Doesn't mean he's not replaceable. I do think he'll be replaceable in those decks. But he's a great stat stick, man. 10 power. One of the only variants you can get for him, too, because he doesn't have a lot of those. Nimrod, a lot of you guys probably have. He's not exactly a meta card. Deadpool destroys better. He gives a different option to it, and so it's more of a flavor pick. And the Spotlight variant kind of reminds me of some of the other ones we already have. The Thanos, though, this one is sick. Let me tell you. We've seen High Evo. We've seen Galactus. These comic-inspired ones are awesome, and so if you like Thanos, there you go. If you don't have Thanos, then you're getting a great week with Cole and Thanos together. It's pretty much a must-buy. Thanos is always going to be a meta card. I give it a high star rating because of that. For everybody else, though, I might save this week. I might not go this week. I know Cole is going to be a decent card, but if you're a discard archetype lover, then definitely you're going to need to probably save your spotlights for the next 2 weeks. I'll leave that one up to you guys, but altogether, give this one about 3 peppers. Let's go to February 20th, though, through the 27th. You can see we have Corvus Glaive, the newest card, Gladiator, and X23. Now, if we're just talking card value, guys, this is a hot week. This is a 4-pepper week for me, no question about it. You have Corvus, who I think is going to be a pretty good card if you enjoy discard. And now we have Helicarrier. You have X23 also coming in this week. And then, of course, you have cards that want to already be discarded, like Swarm and Apocalypse. This could be the beginning of a new rise, per se, of ramp and discard. I'm big on the card. I think it'll be a good week. On top of that, even if you don't like discard, you get yourself Gladiator, and one of the few Gladiator variants that we even have in the game, and by far the best one by now. We have X23 and her variant, which is okay. I think it's fine. But if you look at them as just cards, X23 is in every destroy list if you don't have it. Gladiator is now just a staple, good value statted card. And then, of course, you have now Corvus, who's also a good card. So very hot week. One of my favorites if you look at the entire kind of package of cards in here, and definitely one that I would go for. Now, that brings us to February 27th to March 5th. And we have Proxima Midnight as the brand new card, MODOK, and Dakin. Guys, this is a tough one, right? Because most of us already have MODOK. You have Dakin. If you don't, then this is the week to go in if you're interested in discard. If you want this week, skip Cole Obsidian, most likely. Go for these two. Go for Corvus, which is a better week, and then go and try to get Proxima here. Like, that's where you're going to get the biggest boom for, your buck or whatever, bang for your buck. I made that up. Out of discard. And then you're going to love Corvus, and then you can't get Proxima. You're going to want them together. They're husband and wife. Like, it's going to go together, obviously. MODOK already has a lot of good variants. This one's fine. This one's great. Dakin, actually, this one's pretty cool, too. You're not getting this one for the variants. This is a week we're all hoping we can just pull Proxima Midnight and escape with only 1 or 2 keys at max. But if you want discard, be sure to save up enough keys to ensure you do get both of them. I'm going to give this like 3 peppers, about as hot as a jalapeno. And we move into March in the Season Pass, and as you guys know, this goes alongside one of the most busted Season Pass cards we've seen in quite some time in Hope Summers. But Pixie comes out the same week alongside Mobius and Spider-Ham. Now, this week is going to be flat out effing chaos, guys. You already have Hope Summers being a good card, and then Pixie and the randomness that she brings. Definitely a divisive card on what people think about her, and I'll give you guys my take. If you enjoy fun, you found yourself Pixie, one of the most fun cards that I think is going to come to the game. Loki is all about randomness, which makes him really good. You have discounted costs, being able to play, keeping your opponent on their toes. Pixie does something similar. They don't know if you've got a 2-cost Doctor Doom, and it's not a coincidence that she comes alongside Mobius, who's going to help your other cards not go too high in cost. So to me, Pixie's going to be a pretty damn good card, and this is probably a great week to go ahead and go for, especially if you're not in on the discard stuff and you want to save up for something a little bit more fun and has the potential to be a big bang of a card. This could be it. This is one of those cards you should let other people buy first, see how creators and other people think about her, then invest in her. You know, she could just freaking suck. But if you don't have Mobius, he's good too. You got Series 4 cards here, which I'm not crazy about, but the package of them are all usable and meta cards. So altogether, it's about a 4.5 pepper hot week for me. I'll never use another Spider-Ham variant again. Now, if you're asking, why did you go from like star ratings to peppers? I have no idea. I just spitballed it and I thought it sounded kind of cool. Now we move on to March 12th to the 19th. We have Mockingbird, an absolute insane new card. We have Miss Marvel and Man-Thing. Now again, as it stands, these cards are subject to change, but at this point in time, Mockingbird's one of the best cards that we've seen in these spotlights. She is a 5-cost 9-power card that goes down in cost. For any card in play that didn't start in your deck, that's a lot of different cards that could, you know, get her down to just great stat lines. Absolutely ridiculous when you look at things like Abomination's Evo build, where you have to inflict, you know, negative power and they have to play it. This is just very easy, kind of like Devil Dinosaur, to guide your own journey to let her be discounted. Now, alongside her, you have decent cards. Obviously, Miss Marvel, this is it. People have been waiting. You compare her to Omega Red now. She's not as kind of unique, but still very good. You have to get her if you don't buy now. And it comes alongside Mockingbird. Man-Thing is not that great of a card as far as like his meta use. I think he's better now with Luke Cage, and we, you know, can see decks with him, no question. You're going for Mockingbird, and you're going for Miss Marvel at this point. If you don't have Miss Marvel, then this is a 5-star week. If you do, Mockingbird's still really good, and you get a good variant. I would say altogether, this is still a great week to go for because Mockingbird's that good, and then you got Miss Marvel to go alongside her. Now, next up, we have March 19th to the 26th. We have Cannonball, a new 5-cost 8-power card, Kitty Pryde, and Ghost Spider. Now, look, guys, you got to skip a week every now and then, and Cannonball, although it looks like he's got a lot of potential, he reminds me of something like Gladiator, where you're going to see him in meta decks. There are going to be replacements for him. He's a good card, but he doesn't come with enough around him to warrant you probably going for this week. There's too many good weeks surrounding it, and so unless you're just a whale and you spend a lot of money and you swipey the card, then you can get Cannonball. Otherwise, I'd probably go for Mockingbird and Pixie and even next week's card. And Cannonball is one of those cards that I think is not going to be for everyone as well, the play style of it, and we might see some adjustments there. I'm not even too crazy about the Kitty Pryde Ghost Spider variant, but again, that's just my own personal thoughts. Cannonball's very famous, though, as far as like his, you know, representation in Marvel Comics, so if that's what you want to, then go for it. But this is my probably lowest rated week in terms of hotness. I'm going to give it a couple ice cubes instead of peppers. Just in general, this is the one to save, most likely. Or I'm dead ass wrong. This is a meta card, and in that case, you guys will know what to do. And then the last week of the season, we have March 26th to April 2nd. War Machine finally comes to the game as a 4/6, who is essentially Jeff, giving all of your cards the ability to be played anywhere. Silver Samurai and Silk. Now, if you look at the variants, all of them absolute fire. I mean, it's War Machine. A lot of people, just from the name value, are going to want to get it. In terms of cards, a little disappointed, man. Disappointed that we have Silver Samurai and Silk alongside. Listen, I think they know what they're doing a little bit here with War Machine, coming out with cards that are good. They're not like transcendent. Silk is a good card. Again, you're not going to be using her all the freaking time, but definitely if Elsa gets a buff up, which we expect, then Silk is going to become much more prevalent in the metagame. But War Machine by himself is stupid, man. He gives you he gives really crazy effects to great cards. Let's just take this week's card, Cole Obsidian. If he allows that to be a Jeff and you can play him anywhere and ignore his text, that's just stupid alone. But also, you can get into hard-to-reach locations. I see War Machine being a card that is, in this metagame, and the Zabu being in every deck anyway, being just another card that you want to have. Might go, you know, compared to like Iron Lad in the sense that you're going to want to get War Machine because no one can do what he does, and then you don't want to miss out on months of having to wait for him, kind of like Iron Lad, which is what makes this tough and gives me more ammunition to say to skip the Cannonball week. I like War Machine a lot. I would say he's another card like Super Giant that you'll have to wait and see how everybody does with him before you would buy. That's probably my best advice for the week. If he's a meta card, then you got to give this a great week. If not, I'd say for now, it's about a 2.5-star week with Silk and Silver Samurai. It just depends on War Machine. And then, guys, we take it to April, and this is... We talked about on the latest Snapchat. These cards are effing good. It's so hard to look at the spotlight cards you get and then, like, separate that from how good the new cards are. This is going to be tough because every single one is going to hit somebody different in their play style, and there's a case for most of them, but let's also compare them to what other cards you're getting within the month. Now, we start things out in April 2nd to the 9th. You get Red Hulk. Absolutely insane card coming out the same day as the season pass. Sebastian Shaw and Echo. I don't know about these variants, guys, but if you're into like colonial presidents, then I mean, this has got to scratch your itch. Now, to what I said earlier in the video, I think these are not confirmed. Like, I think we don't know for sure if these are the weeks that these are going to be in. So do take this with somewhat of a grain of salt. However, just looking at what we have, the information we have available, let's just call it what it is. We're not playing Sebastian Shaw all that much in decks, almost at all. You're not seeing him in the meta, or at least top gameplay. He's a fun card, but he's very pigeonholed to an archetype. And then Echo, it kind of creeps up when ongoing cards get too strong. However, you got Red Hulk, one of the craziest cards. This is definitely one that you want to probably just buy with tokens. Or if you have the spotlight keys, go for. He can't miss. He's going to just be a good card. If you like ramp, if you like Taskmaster play, if you just want to have a card that's going to fit in every deck, Red Hulk is going to be that card. And so for that reason, this is going to be a must pick up card, but the week is definitely skippable. April 9th through the 16th, we've got ourselves US Agent, Mirage, and Jeff. A week of 2-cost cards here, and US Agent is going to be leading the pack. If you're, a Sauron, Luke Cage lover, you're going to obviously like what he can do. Zero play. You get Mirage and Jeff. You should probably have Jeff by now. This is a skippable week, guys. I think US Agent does have potential, but this is skippable. Save them up. You don't need to go for this week. No question about it. We got a lot of great weeks, and out of all of them, this is the one I'd probably go ahead and sleep on. I thought I knew who Mirage was as a character, and then I saw this, and now I'm more confused than ever. However, if you're watching this and you're new and you don't have Jeff the Shark, he's just a great card, but we're going to have to see how War Machine affects his overall usage and viability. April 16th to the 23rd, there's no way this card makes it. White Widow is going to be absolutely chaotic. Lady Deathstrike and High Evo kind of in his MCU form. I mean, we could get this out of the way. Put these variants in the freaking Louvre. Beautiful variant week here. High Evo, if you don't have it, and then combined it with how good White Widow is, this is a spicy week. This is a pretty damn good week if you don't have those cards. Lady Deathstrike is a fun card. She creeps up every now and then. But again, I would say most likely you're going to be going for White Widow and High Evo here. This is a great week if you enjoy bounce archetypes. Like, not everybody is going to even like White Widow, no matter how good she is. So determine if you even play things like Black Widow and the Goblins. If you don't enjoy that style of play, you could probably safely skip this week. She is a transcendent card as is. The week with High Evo makes you want to give it a pretty high star rating, like a 4-star. But if you don't like the play style of White Widow and you have High Evo, this is a skip. April 23rd to the 30th, Valentina, who I think is one of the most interesting cards to come to Snap. We've got a very cool Max Grek Snow Guard, and then Nico, Manaru, and the Peach Momoko variant. I mean, hot damn, guys. Hot damn. First of all, if you don't have Nico, I mean, let's just say what it is. This is a very good week. Valentina, I think, has a lot of potential. You got random variants of 6-cost cards, Quinjet, really cool synergy. This is going to be a card that can make its own archetype and deck style. I love it. I'm actually a big fan, and definitely one that I'm hot on for the month. Snow Guard is still used in Loki, still a good card that people are probably not playing enough. We've seen a dip a little bit in Magic play, so maybe that's why Snow Guard's not getting as much love. And then Loki a little bit has dipped down. And then Nico's Nico. If you don't have Nico, this is a duh week for you. I think Valentina's got the potential here. Again, I would say let people test her out. See if she ends up working. Is she too random? Does she not bring enough? But my guess is this is going to be a very hot week. I'm going to give it about a 4-star. And then we end the video, guys, with April 30th through May 7th. Red Guardian out of 3-4. Blob and Null. Now, this week does have good variants. It kind of is tough to evaluate. We haven't had a great tech card since, like, Mobius come out, really, hitting the ground running. Red Guardian, as it stands, I don't think is transcendent, but he is going to be a good tech card. We just have to see how the play lines, kind of work itself out. If you don't have Null, if you don't have Blob, this is just a good week to go for. If you whiff and you don't get Red Guardian and you get the Blah variant, I think it's a pretty cool variant to go all together. This, by now, you probably don't even have a damn spotlight, right? Or you don't have tokens. And by now, when this comes out, we'll know the spotlights, or at least we can see the cards coming out in order in the next month of May. So it might be one that you just want to hang on to and just let Red Guardian come out on another week in the future. You got to evaluate and only pick so many cards. And for a lot of you guys, this is going to be a tough month to do so. Red Hulk seems like a win for everybody. But then you got Valentina, White Widow, Red Guardian. They all bring their own kind of style of heat. And that's going to be it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, it's one click for you to subscribe, and it helps me out more than I can even go into as a creator. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Also, down below, pin comment. Let's see if Second Dinner can see how much, scheduled spotlights are important to us. Definitely something I think is just helpful for the entire community. So want to make sure that if they do watch this, they're well aware. You guys have a good one. Have a great one. Good luck out there in the season. And until the next one, happy snapping.